This story is about an 18-year-old boy, Matt, living in Georgia. He'd been really disturbed for a few days because he had lost $500,000 in sports betting. He had stolen that money from his father. He didn't know what to do because he knew that his father would kill him if he got to know about this. Fearing his dad, Matt went to the bookie and said he was willing to do anything for him if he returned his money. The bookie agreed and returned him the amount, but on one condition. The next morning he called him, handed him a knife, and said that he had to murder a guy. Matt panicked and said that he was not going to do anything of that sort. The bookie said that he worked for some really dangerous men, and if Matt doesn't agree, he'd kill him and his entire family. Matt did not have any option. The bookie gave him a photo and the address of the guy. Matt went to that man's house and waited outside with a knife. He was thinking what sort of trouble he had gotten himself into. But the real trouble was yet to come. When the man came out of his house, Matt followed him. When the man reached a deserted road, Matt ran and attacked him. The man had been hurt, but it was Matt who was crying. The man was stabbed only in the shoulder, so he got up and started running away. Matt chased him, and both of them entered a parking lot of an old building. That building had been deserted for many years, and if people are to be believed, the place was haunted. Matt, who was unaware of all this, was bothered by the eerie silence of the place. But he didn't have any time to make sense of it. With the blood-soaked knife still in his hand, he started looking for that man. Matt heard someone's voice coming from an old truck in the parking lot. He thought that the man was hiding behind that very truck, but when Matt went and looked, there was no one. Matt turned back and he saw a reflection of an old man in the rearview mirror of the truck, sitting on the driver's seat. The man looked so horrific that Matt just froze there. The man's clothes were stained in blood and he kept on staring at Matt without blinking. Suddenly, two hands came from beneath the truck and held Matt by his legs. The knife dropped from his hands. On the other side, that old man sitting in the truck got off and limped his way towards Matt. His eyes were white as a cat, and this made Matt even more scared. In shock, Matt suddenly fainted. When he didn't come back home the entire night, his parents filed a missing persons report at the police station. The next morning, when the police reached the place in search of Matt, they found him there lying unconscious, and the man who was attacked by Matt also laid there unconscious. Matt was taken to the hospital. When he regained consciousness, he told everything to his parents and the police. He told them all about the bookie and even the weird old man. But he had no memory of the night after he fainted. When police reached the bookie's base, he had already fled the city. Matt's father got him out on bail, but gave him a very tough time back at home. But more than his father and the police, Matt was scared of the haunted experience from last night. What happened with Matt is bygone, but make sure you guys stay away from illegal betting. And make sure you hit the like button on this video and share it with your friends. We're working really hard to bring you the best of horror stories, so please do subscribe to our channel, Bloody Monday.